And because I did that, because I became the causation of the pain, I could actually say to the pain, ceased, and the pain would cease instantly. And I thought it is possible for everybody to do that. It's just a matter of training. Now, I liked this video, which I'm showing shortly. Now, this guy managed the suitcase so well and illustrated a very important point. The question I'm asking in my mind is a suitcase independent of his own, or is the man the most important controller of all?
He pulls off a trick where it looks like the briefcase is floating in midair, completely defying gravity. No matter how hard he tries, it seems impossible to move. But here's the secret. It's just an ordinary briefcase that he controls with his hands, making it seem like magic. But all this man really wants is just one like from you.
Of course, when you look at it, it's obvious. It's obvious that this guy is a controller. That's right. But is it obvious to you? When you control the world's event, but somehow the world's event apparently appears to control you instead. Okay, I was talking to my brother a few days ago, and I was asking him a very interesting question. There was a fish in front of him, and I told him, now the fish is in front of you, right? And you're looking at the fish. That's good. But then, if you're not looking at the fish, would the fish be there? He said, no, of course. Yeah. So, it is your eyes that see the fish, right? If it wasn't for your eyes that see the fish, would the fish be there? No. It is your hand that touches the fish. If it wasn't for the hand that touches the fish, would the fish still be there? No. So I'm asking him a final question. Which is more important? Is it the fish or you? So he began to think very hard. That's right. And I'm sure you're thinking very hard. Because you're thinking that it's a fish having an independent existence from you. It seems like it has an independent existence from you. But the problem is that if you close your eyes, it's still there. When you sleep in the night and you have consciousness that switch over to another plate, is the fish still there? Obviously to you, the fish is no longer there. So with reference to you and you alone, who is more important, the fish or yourself? And based on science, I realized that space-time is created by a frequency. And every frequency or vibration, they survive on their own space-time. In other words, the two frequencies can actually be present and they will need not collide whatsoever. You and I can exist and we don't have to collide at all. Because it doesn't collide, we live in two different worlds. What I'm trying to emphasize is that every space-time survives in its own world. So based on that logic, I can perceive, therefore, that when my brother saw the fish, he saw it in his world. And when I see the fish, I see it in my world. I don't see everything that my brother sees, because we live in different worlds. In other words, the fish that my brother sees, he created it himself. And the fish that I saw, I created it myself. It's of different design because it is my mind to give texture to what I see. And his mind gives texture to what he sees. It's a different world. Now the point I'm trying to emphasize is that it is the creator that is more important than the creation. Like what you see in the video just a while ago, it is the man who handles the suitcase that made the suitcase stubbornly positioned there. It's the man who did it himself, but he didn't realize it. And he thought that the suitcase was stubborn, but actually in truth, he was stubborn on the other side of himself. Of course, that video is a magic show, but it illustrates a very important principle, that we created our world, but we made that world, we created a difficult thing to handle. It is ourselves that makes it difficult to handle. And it is very, very funny. Funny because we are the controller of our world. But yet, for some reason or another, we made the other part of our world something difficult for us to control. That's why King Solomon stated a very significant truth. He said that he who controls himself is greater than a man who controls the city. I don't want to insult anybody here, but I just make a statement right now. Now, a man thinks that there is a God out there. Is the God his creation? Of course, he created that God in his mind. But what is so interesting is that he believes that God controls him. But actually, in truth, he is the controller of the God, right? We ascribe significant control to another object. That object is our own creation. I have given a very simple example, God. But a more difficult example would be pain, a pain in the body. Are you saying that that pain, which is in your mind as you perceive it, greater than you? Obviously, you were told by the doctors that you need to take a medication in order to heal the pain. But come on, friend. You and I know that everything that is taking place in our body is coming from the signal of our own mind. Our brain is in full control of the body. So why are we lacking that control to control the pain? I'm not saying that I'm super. I've been doing a lot of practice on this as well. Whenever there is pain in my body, what I did was I entered the first person to ensure that the pain is the causation of my own action. I do not know exactly how to explain that, but it's something that I do it in my mind. And it's a phenomena, I must say, or control over myself. And it requires practice. And because I did that, because I became the causation of the pain, I could actually say to the pain, ceased, and the pain would cease instantly. And I thought it is possible for everybody to do that. It's just a matter of training. As I said in many of my videos in the past, it was a long, long time since the angel told me, and they told me that what I should do is to observe my thoughts. So that's what I did. I observed my thoughts. That's the kind of meditation that I did. And I did it for 10 years. It was a very long time. I didn't see anything at first. During the 10 years, I don't see anything at all. But strangely, as I observed my thoughts and practiced doing it all the time, it was just one day, and suddenly it all began to happen. The thoughts turned breath, and I turned breath. A great phenomena, which I couldn't quite comprehend. But what did I do? I just turned breath, and the thoughts turned breath. And I could do it again and again and again after that. But that is the control that I suddenly found. I was able to control my space-time and my world, because everything that I see is my space-time. Am I right? Everything that I see is just merely my thought, and isn't it right? Okay. But this thought that is taking place in your mind is automatic. It is not really under your control. But if you could observe these thoughts from the observer who is inside you, which I call the true observer, observe it so intently such that the frequency of the thought and the observer becomes the same. There will be a resonance, and this resonance will turn the thought and myself into breath. And breath is where we all came from. The substance of this whole universe, including myself, my body, is breath. And this is what I call I am. And this is why when you read the Torah, Genesis chapter 1, you will notice that everything that was created in this world was created by the pronouncement of a voice from God. What is a voice? A voice is the breathing out from within you. That's right, it is breath.